Hi, Stephanie.
Hey, let's just start. This is all off the record, and I will sue you straight to hell. And just so you know, I already have a signed NDA. I won't even tell you how I got it.
Oh, okay. Check. Got it.
You
Off the
got it?
record, or I go straight to hell.
Tell me again about this little podcast of yours.
So we started as a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast, and once we finished talking about Buffy, we moved on to the spin-off show Angel.
Which is obviously the more important show.
Of course, right? Yeah, we started talking about that vampire hero with a soul.
Oh my God, I would rather have my throat cut out by a hellhound than deal with that man again.
Well, so Angel left Sunnydale for his own spinoff show, and he brought Cordelia Chase with him.
I love Cordelia. I have a lot of respect for that woman. It's the only woman I let kill me and get away with it.
So Angel formed an investigations team, and it went through a lot of changes. And in its first season, it had the unfortunate luck of encountering a certain evil law firm.
Oh, I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
So one of my favorite things was when he let half the law firm get murdered by his ex-girlfriend and the Drusilla, the Victorian sickly gal that was his friend, but they spared a certain favorite lady of mine.
But it's to his loss that they kept me there.
And to our gain watching. During our podcast coverage of Angel, the co-hosts went through a lot of changes. Everyone's opinions were all over the place. Zach hated Wesley. Kim loved Drusilla. Angela never shut up about Spike. Sabrina wanted to work at Wolfram and Hart, but for the outfits. Dayspring brought up Models Inc. a lot for some reason.
Well, I died on Models Inc. as well, so turns out you can't kill a bitch. You can't kill a bad bitch.
You cannot. Alistair liked everything. Ian Martin brought up a lot of smart metaphors, and everyone constantly stand Darla, Lorne, Cordelia, and of course, Lila.
Of course.
Everyone's favorite outfit every episode was something worn by Lila or Cordelia. And we also, if Angel was half naked, that would be a favorite outfit of the episode.
Well, yeah, hello. Even Lila liked him half naked. She would never tell you, but she liked it.
Last season, a first happened, and it was because of you. I blushed on camera because a certain Stephanie Romanoff told me she would top me with her water bottle.
I think you misunderstood that. I was just talking about a really cute water bottle.
It was a cute water bottle, I'll admit. So that's where we're at. Oh, and at the end of last season, Cordelia was ascending to a higher plane while Angel was descending to the bottom of the ocean in a steel coffin.
Oh, poor Angel. However, will they get that hotel to find competent staff? Oh, and will Cordelia get another haircut? I don't know. But will the gays, girls, and theys still stand Lila in her final season?
Of course they will.
Yeah, I fucking hope so. Hi, I'm Stephanie Romanoff. I play Lila Morgan, head bitch in charge. And yes, I told Ian I would top him, and I am a woman of my word. Be careful, Ian. So you guys have fun with season 4. Kisses.
Welcome to Slayerfest 98. I'm Ian Carlos Crawford.
Hi, I'm Xana.
Hello, I'm Jamie Jirak, and we're talking Angel, Season 4, Episode 1, Deep Down.
I am excited to cover this season. I'm excited to have a bunch of new co-hosts like I have with me today. Before we get into the episode, Xana, do you remember when you started watching Angel? Did you always watch it from the start, etc., etc.? Give us your origin.
Well, I was a baby when Angel was airing.
Oh, right,
so
I
no.
forgot. Fuck you.
But I did watch through Buffy, and my aunt and my uncle were the real reason why I really got into the show, and they introduced me to Angel, and it was such a departure from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, obviously, in such major tones that when I was watching it as a child, I really didn't really pick up on it until I got a little older, and I was like, oh wait, no, hold on, this is the vibe right now. So yeah, I watched Angel maybe like 7 years after I had wrapped, but being kind of a cognizant teenager, I was like, oh no, this is really, really good, and it's actually probably my favorite part of the whole series. like the spinoff and seeing all the characters develop in a different way. So I have a soft spot for it, especially this season. So.
I love that because this is the first season, and I think I've said this before, but like, so I would tape everything on my VHS tapes, and season 4 was when like they announced Buffy was ending, and so I was like, well, now I have to get super into Angel because I want to have like something in that universe. So season 4 is the season I like know the best because I taped every single episode. So that way I could obsessively watch it the way I was obsessively watching Buffy. And then would just like, if there was a rerun, try to tape that until like the DVDs came out. I know this season is polarizing, but I do have a special place in my heart for it just because it's the season where I got like super into it. Jamie, how about you? I know you are a big lover of Angel. I know that.
Yes.
The show.
Yeah, the show. Somebody made that mistake recently, and they're like, "You are an Angel fan." I'm like, "Please no, I mean the television program, not the character." I've said this a million times. I think every time I've come on this podcast, but Angel season 5 is my favorite episode of season of television. I love Angel season 5 so deeply, and 4 has its faults. There's a lot. There's you want to punch Connor in the face every episode, but there's so much I like about season 4, and I'm trying to remember how I got into Buffy when the season 6 started, and the DVDs were coming out at that time. So I was in the 6th grade, and I was able to like catch up by getting the DVDs. And then when 8th grade is when season 5 aired, and I watched season 5 live, and it was the best time of my life. Every Thursday I'd go in to talk to my science teacher about it, and it was really cool. We would powwow with my science teacher about the episodes.
Wait, I love that you had a teacher that you could talk to about it.
Yep. I'll never forget when in the 100th episode, when, someone dies, I came in, I cried myself to sleep. And I came to school the next day, and my teacher goes, "I've been so worried about you. Are you okay?" It's been a rough night.
I love that you said someone as if it hasn't been years. Spoiler alert, everybody.
We do spoilers.
I don't know if we can spoiler a forthcoming, because like on my podcast, you can't talk about episodes that were not there yet.
The Magicians coverage is the only thing I do non-spoiler, just so like people can do their first watch. But with Angel and Buffy, we do spoilers because I just assume everyone's already seen it.
Right.
It's like weird to say that's one of my favorite episodes because like the drama surrounding it is really terrible. But I do think they like nail it in that episode, and I love it. But so we are here to talk the season 4 premiere. We left off on Angel season 3. Cordelia was ascending, Angel was descending, and Gunn and Fred were kind of like, where's everybody? We open on this like very sweet dinner, and I can remember watching this live and being like, man, I hate that this is a dream. I want them to be like happy and cute and like this like little family that like going through it for the podcast. I don't feel like maybe in season 5 they do, but it feels like they don't ever get a break where they get to like exist as like a group without there being like super big drama with 1 or 2 characters that are like leaving or coming back or dying. And like Buffy, the Scoobies were still a unit for like the whole show, but it feels like on Angel, they never quite all meshed at the same time. I don't know.
Oh, they dragged these people through the mud this season.
Right. I always am a fan of a dream, especially like this. Like, I feel like the visuals are cool where it's like everyone's at dinner and then his plate has nothing on it. And then it's like the water. I really like the way that looks. Jamie, I was curious of you. I feel like you always like know a behind the scenes shit. What? This is so stupid, but I was like trying to look into how they did this because it looks like they're still on the Angel set with all the water there.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. I would imagine. No, I was gonna like say something that I have no idea. Like they got vents on the floor. But like because of when this was made, it had to have been real water,
right? That's yeah. They wouldn't have had the budget for like CGI water.
They're doing too many vampire faces back then. They couldn't do CGI water.
Did not have room in the budget for that. I like this. I like seeing it being Angel's like version of like this. Connor is not the Connor we know at all. He's like, gee golly gosh, Dad, but like that's not Connor. Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of me saying how much I don't like Connor this season.
He's the worst. He's the worst. Like, I don't understand how anyone can hate Dawn when Connor's there. Like,
whenever someone's like, oh, but Dawn's so annoying, I'm like, Connor is worse. I promise Connor is like worse. Xana, do you have a hot take?
For both of you experiencing Buffy and Angel in real time, did you ever clock the similarities between like oh, there's just this petulant child in both of these shows. And that was the only character arc that essentially they were trying to pitch. Like, if you're just like a nonchalant Buffy fan, that's like, oh, they're just annoying, but there's no like deeper thought behind it. Is that something that like you were, as a viewer, being like, so why are only children in these shows awful?
So I was so dumb watching this because he looked older than me. And I was like, I think 17, 18. I always thought he was supposed to be in his 20s, even though they do explicitly say 16 in like one episode.
But that is a man.
No, like, you know what I mean? Like, that is not a young teenager. So it didn't really occur to me that he was like a kid until like a rewatch. And I was like, oh no, he is supposed to be like a kid. And I kind of always thought, oh no, we're going. So I like put more faith in them than they deserved, I guess, because I thought, no, we're gonna get a cool thing with Connor. We're getting to stuff. They're making him annoying so that like when he's cool, it's like a big transformation.
Did we ever get that?
It just lasts like an episode. Like
Yeah,
they
it's just
do.
only one.
Yeah, like they do. He does get there in season 5. It's just brief.
Yeah.
He
Because
just wasn't socialized as a puppy. Like, you're raised in a hell dimension. There's really not much you can do there. He doesn't know better.
but he just like, it is so one note, right, Jamie?
Yeah, I do think because I was a kid watching it, like it didn't really bother me. Like I was around boys that age and girls that age all the time, so it's just kind of. But the older I get, like when my first really big rewatch when I got really back into it, I was like maybe 23, and that's when I was like, oh my god, I don't remember how much this kid sucked. And since then, I've watched it 50 times, and every time I'm like, God, why? Why did they do this? He's the worst. And it's not Vincent's fault, but every time I see Vincent in something, I'm like, oh, here we go.
That's definitely the thing. I think him and Michelle played it so well that we had that reaction. We're like, you're fucking annoying. I can't stand. That speaks to how good they were at being those characters. I do think like, for him being like that, it feels one note, but it's just like you can kind of see it looking back, being that he's just trying to prove himself so hard and he's just doing everything wrong because he doesn't know how to do any of those things. And I think we all remember being a teenager or just even a young kid trying so hard to impress everybody and just like stepping on feet and making things wrong. So yeah, I think it definitely translates that way, but as a casual viewer, you're like, oh, he needs to be factory reset.
Yeah, I think it's like, I get what you're saying, because someone in our Discord said like, oh, but like, don't you feel bad for Connor? And I'm like, yes, of course, like if this were real, that would be a character where I would probably give more chances to, and like, but like as a viewer watching it, he's not as like, I do think you're right, Xana. That's like what the actor was doing. There wasn't like well, he's missing the mark. That's like what he was supposed to be doing. But I just think like as a viewer, it's just not fun to watch. Of course, I feel bad for him. He was raised in a hell dimension, whatever. Like you said, he wasn't socialized with other puppies. Of course, yeah, I feel bad. But like as a viewer, I'm like, oh, why do I have to watch this? I think it's. Like,
I feel like when he's like doing things to Angel, like fucking over his dad. I'm like, I get it, because teenagers and their parents are rough anyway. And then like his dad, he was raised to believe Angel was a bad person,
right?
But it's when he's in love with Cordelia and being just a whiny little bitch that I'm like, I have no sympathy for you. You're stupid. You're acting stupid. This woman was basically your mother.
Yeah.
Straight man. So yeah, we see that he like drops a glass. Everyone is no longer at the table but Connor. And then we see that he is still trapped at the bottom of the ocean in this coffin. His face is all cracked. Post credits. Fred and Gunn. I am curious what you both think, because last season I was very hard on Fred and Gunn because I felt like they had like negative chemistry. I don't know what it is, but here I'm a little bit more on board.
Fred and Wesley are my ultimate number one TV ship. They are my OTP. I love them so much. But I do like the Fred and Gunn journey, because sometimes you like have to be in a wrong relationship to realize what the right one is. And I think that it's good for both of them, even if it's not right and it's weird and I don't think they have really chemistry. But I don't mind it as an arc. I think it makes sense for life.
That's true.
It's literally my first note saying how they have no chemistry. It feels forced. And I think they played it off very well, that it's like, obviously they have this new relationship, even though I think they've been together for like a season and a half now or something like that. Yeah. But it still feels so like they're making it work so hard. and it's not. And I think the strain of their entire group disappearing and inheriting Angel's son, essentially, like, moved in too quickly together. They now have an adult child that they have to take care of, a business. Like, it's any kind of relationship would struggle under those pressures. And I just don't think theirs was strong enough outside of like the, I guess, like physical and I emotional savior capacity, that it just kind of feels like that's what happened. And they just kind of felt the comfortability of it, which again, I think that speaks to a lot of heterosexual people. So if they're watching this program, which I don't know why they would be, that can definitely translate to them. But it just, yeah, it feels so forced, especially in this first episode, because you can even tell that they're fighting. They're fighting the entire time, but they're not acknowledging it. And I think that's the biggest issue that I have with that.
But I think you're right that like I do know a lot of heterosexual couples like that where it's like, do you even like each other? Like, what are we doing? And I do think they have a chemistry that really does read as friends. Like these read as like two people that are friends, not even like super close friends, but like friends who like are casual. Yeah,
They work
like,
together.
Like a coworker you like, but you're not hanging out with. Like that's what they almost read as. But I think the reason I like it better is because at the end of season 3, they're going on dates and we're like watching them go on dates. And it's like, why am I watching this? There's like negative chemistry here. This is boring. And they do a lot of like cutesy like things that just don't land where it's like, oh, she's eating ice cream. Oh, he's smiling at her. And it's like, this is nothing.
But
so
do you think that's like so accurate to what reality is for most people, that they go on these weird dates and it's like, oh, this isn't working at all? So
you're not wrong. And also you make a good point that I was going to bring up, but like now they have an adult child who like also probably isn't like, I don't know, he's supposed to be 16, 17. How old do we like? They're like maybe 25, right? Like,
Yeah, they're in their they're not
late
old.
20s maybe.
yeah,
They're
like on the far end.
They're young enough where they couldn't be his biological parents.
Right, yeah. That's what I was getting at. Yeah, like so that would put I don't know that, especially if it's Connor, like I would also...
if he's a little bitch, that makes it way worse.
So we see them. I do like being able to see both of them. They're making her more capable, which I do like, because a lot of like season 3 is like her being the damsel, and I don't love that. Like that doesn't, for me, sure, that could be true to real life, but that doesn't fit in this show. Like I don't watch the show to see like, I don't know, a character who can't do anything. So I'm glad that like we see her with the, whatever you call it, the stake in her sleeve that like Angel had. At least they're fighting. They're looking for someone. They fight. An axe gets thrown at Fred and Connor. It does look cool. He says it does. He comes in with the slow motion, grabs the axe, throws it back, kills the vampire. And like, I do almost think if we got a little bit more of that, of Connor being like, was that cool? Like kid stuff, like you were saying earlier, where it's like being a teen, trying to impress people. That, I don't know, makes more sense and is more fun. If he's like, tell me that was cool. Was that cool? I'm still like that. Are you kidding me? So yeah, I understand that. I think that is like a little bit more fun. But then, yeah, when it comes to the Angel stuff, it's like...
It kind of comes across misplaced when it's like, oh, we can all die. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you did a cool, like, parkour thing and everyone's cool. It's like, no, we all almost died here. It's not fun when we're looking for your dad and everyone's gone.
And like, yeah, I got a giant axe thrown at my fucking head. Like, I'm sure that was cool. I didn't die.
I will say the opening of season 4 of Angel and the opening of season 3 for Buffy, at least this group is doing much better without their leads.
That is true.
In season 3 for Anne, they're all just like, can't even throw a stake, does not get every vampire. They're just dressing up real cool with bad punchy puns. And at least Fred has her assassin blade, and Gunn is capable of pretty much everything. Yeah. I do agree seeing Fred kind of take over that strong female lead for Cordelia when she's not in the show. It's so apparent right away, and it makes you feel so much more comfortable with her, especially considering she was that kind of damsel-y before. Yeah. But it was I guess it was really hard to compete with Cordy being like the lead girl, and now she's literally thrusted into this position. So
yeah. Jamie, I know that you love Fred.
I love Fred. Well, I have a giant Illyria tattoo, so you know, I just love Amy Acker so much. And one thing, I mean, we'll get to it, but what I love about Fred in this episode is when the way she acts when she tases Connor.
Yes,
because like she's, and we see that I'm coming on for episode 5, I think, and that's a big like. Fred has a little bit of a dark side, and they're building to that. And especially when she tases him the second time. She's pissed. And as is her right. But I feel a little bad for Connor here only because like he's delusional. I think that his life with Fred and Gunn is the best life he's ever had.
Yes.
He is genuinely likes his life with them. But it's all done under these false pretenses and he's lying to them. So
I do think Wesley is correct when he says that they were safer not knowing. I do think I understand why they would be like, yeah, but fucking tell us. But I do think he's correct. Like, no, Connor liked being with you guys. And if y'all don't know, why would he bother doing? Like, he's not going to hurt you if you don't know what he did. So I agree with you. I do think it's like, this is kind of the best Connor's ever had it, even though it's like my dysfunctional parents that are 7 years older than me. Like, so they're looking for a vampire who I don't even know if we know why they know that she saw something, right?
He was on the beach, apparently.
Yeah.
Those are hunting grounds. Which, how they got that information, I'm very curious, but great.
Like, sure. So then they go back to the hotel. They're mad Connor ran off. They say he can't run off, blah, blah, blah. He, like, a thing I did notice is, like, we do this a lot with a father figure with him, is, like, he does get very, like, chest, like, with Gunn, he gets chest puffy, but with Fred, he's, like, softer. Which, like, I guess tracks. He has, like, mommy and daddy issues in different ways. We learn they're about to be evicted from the hotel. We learn they haven't had a client. Lorne is in Vegas, which I'm pretty sure at the end of last season, I meant to look this up, that it's like he left because of Connor, because Connor, like, was just always like, ew, you filthy demon. So he's like, that's your son. I get it. I'm going to leave. I like the Lorne. I know that's like a plot we resolve pretty quickly, but I like the idea of Lorne because I think he would do well in Vegas and like having a show, right?
I love that episode where they go to get him. It's such a fun, and in a season that's really bleak, that episode is so much fun.
And it happens so early too. It's like we get one little good thing and then it's over.
Because the show needs him. He's the comic relief. He lightens it up. And without him, it's like, God, can we get a laugh in here or something?
Yes. I do like when Fred says he's lost the mission, bro, and Gunn's like, you can't say that, right? Like, we're like acknowledging, I don't know, they like are really bad with like race on the show. So I appreciate that it's like, he's like, don't say that. This is where we go to Lila.
Do we Wesley, right? We go right to Wesley with Lila?
Yes. So right, because they mention Wesley, which I was like, well, why don't they call fucking Willow and Buffy? Like, or I guess Buffy. Right? Like, I don't know, why not, right? Like, call one of them for help. I feel like
do they know her?
They don't. They
only know that she died.
Right. But I feel like Angel would have that number somewhere. I don't know. It feels like
call her in case I'm not around.
Right? Like if there's an apocalypse and I'm dead and or missing, call my vampire slayer ex-girlfriend. But
that's
also
some of this season where like the blacking out of the sun and stuff. And I'm like, meanwhile, Sunnydale's dealing with the first, and it's like, we need to be communicating better. And we do eventually, we have Orpheus. But for the most part, it's like these two teams really, this is unbelievable that they're not chit-chatting.
Yes, and like, I know that this is like a problem with superhero stuff too, right? Where it's like, well, why wouldn't they call in? And it's like, well, we just can't. So we can't be doing that all the time. But I do think some of the stuff here is a little bit grander where it's like, maybe.
It's like a huge thing where it's like, hey, that person who's like completely changed your life has gone missing. I think you might want to maybe take a weekend and come help find him. Right. Although with the new Buffy series kicking off and doing whatever, I'm curious to see, like, is there a superhero group chat where they're like, oh my God, you guys, this is really bad. Like, obviously back in the early 2000s, it was like, you pick up a corded phone and you're like, oh fuck, they're just not around. Now with the accessibility of technology, it's like sending out a mass tweet, hey guys, bad shit's going down, can you come help? Like, is that their new bat signal? Or are they just like
This is why I don't want this show. I just like, I can't, it stresses me out to a level that I just like, it keeps me up at night that I'm so worried that they're gonna fuck this up. I really like, I would just rather, I know it's so exciting, but like, I'd rather not have it because of the anxiety that it fills me with.
I have full faith in it. I'm like fully pilled on it. I'm like, give it to me fucking now.
I hope
I
that
think-
you're right.
I think the thing that like is so successful that they couldn't ever recreate from the early 2000s or any kind of horror pre-real good technology is that anytime that like something is wrong, it's like they actually don't have access to the internet or electricity,
Right.
and it makes the stakes higher. And I love in new horror when they're like, oh, technology's useless to us, and they just completely ignore it. It's like, it's 2025, they probably have an iPhone, but they can't use it. That makes it so much better versus being like, oh, I can just Google why this is bad and how to get rid of it, right? So, yeah.
I was right. Like, I've been crawling through writing a horror novel, and I actually like was like, I guess I need to like get that out of the like thing right away. So it's just like, oh, there's somewhere where there's no signal at all, and like I don't know, because otherwise you can solve a lot of problems with just like looking it up. I don't know.
And just touching last on this Buffy new TV show, how in season 1 they fought a robot demon in Buffy with Willow being the kind of
I
the
love that
anchor of
stupid
that.
episode. It is stupid, but I love
It's
it.
stupid and I love it. I really, really hope they don't do an AI demon.
Ugh.
Like, because that they would, and it would be so hard to like choke down, be like, oh yeah, AI is bad and we're gonna kick its ass. But it's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to cross that bridge.
I'm over it. Like with Mission Impossible taking that route and everything, I'm just like, I'm done.
Oh, did
I'm
they?
done. Oh yeah, the last 2 Mission Impossible movies are all about an AI force. Yeah,
I know that even you, Jamie, you and like 2 other friends that I have that are normally diehard MI fans were like, on the new.
Yeah. I am one of the biggest Mission Impossible fans you'll ever meet, and that last one I was like, it's fine. It's fine.
But so on the topic of not calling people, when Gunn's like, no, we're not calling Wes, it's like fucking call him. At this point, like I of all people understand being petty, but I feel like
That wound's still open though. They're pouring salt on it if they call him.
I don't know. I just feel like Angel's gone, Cordelia's gone.
What I think about this is it's not Gunn's not saying no because of everything that went down with Wesley. Gunn's saying no because him, like all of us know, that Wesley and his girlfriend make a better couple. It's not
Also
about
fair.
Angel. I think it's about Fred. That's why he likes that Wesley's not around anymore. Because that's his competition.
I could see
That's what I think is happening.
Yeah, I could see that. Before we get to Wesley, though, we have another Angel dream. Angel has a dream that it's like a redo of his beach scene, but Cordelia is there. I like this. I like that it's like a little cruel because it's like his version of what he would have liked it to be. And she confesses, which isn't untrue. Like, I feel like that's what would have happened if they had met, right? Like, she is saying, like, it just, I've been in love with you for a long time. Deep down, I always knew it. Like, I don't know. I really like that. And I kind of like the like horror-y aspect of like, he's having a nightmare in which he kills her. Like, I do like that turnaround because also it's pretty brutal, right? And it's cruel. And he's just in this fucking coffin. And then he wakes up screaming because he's dreaming he's eating the woman he loves. Like,
I'm curious at what you guys, how you feel about Angel and Cordelia as a ship, as a couple. Like, because people have strong feelings about this.
So obviously in the beginning of Buffy, when Angel was introduced, Cordelia was lusting over him, but it was such like a superficial thing. But obviously if you take that into context of how they've been kind of together in many capacities or just any kind of scenario, she's always kind of been like attracted to him, whether or not she knew it or not, or outside of being superficial. And I think now because we get to see these characters develop in such an interesting way, and even in season 1, you can kind of see there's like that law of attraction between the two of them, whether it's just like a professional or just like,
and the chemistry is there.
He cares.
Yeah.
And it's like, I personally think it's great. And I actually love that it doesn't happen because I think that's the more dramatic thing. It's like they got so close. And again, Angel just couldn't have it, which I think that is constantly his arc, is that he can only be so close. And even with his gypsy curse and everything, I feel like the whole losing his soul because of true happiness would only happen once. So I feel like that relationship wouldn't affect that in any way. But I think he's still kind of hesitant in that regard too. He's also just not a good guy. So I don't know if his relationship with Cordelia outside of what they've currently had would be any better. Yeah, I think it feels like the most progressive and natural relationship course out of any of the characters in any of the series. I feel like them being together made the most sense because of how they complemented each other in so many different ways, especially considering how much we've seen Cordelia change. It's really nice to see that kind of relationship between the two of them as well.
Basically co-sign everything Xana said. I love that we get to see it develop because, like, right, in TV shows, what TV show you get to see, like, across 2 shows and like 6 different seasons of these shows, like, you get to see a relationship develop. And like you said, Xana, she always at least thought he was hot. And like,
and
okay,
that's enough for some people.
Yeah. And that can lead to you being like, oh wait, I like this person as a person. They're also fucking hot, but also I like vibe with them. I like hanging out with them. And they were friends by the end of Buffy. So like I really love that we get to see it develop. And in season 1, when we were covering it for the podcast, I kept noticing that like their chemistry is there, whether it was just the actors had good chemistry or whatever, but it like the chemistry is there. And like they often have these like sessions where they like sit and wrap up what happened. And she, even then, when she's still pretty Buffy, Cordelia, she's still like clearly cares about this person and like gives him good advice and like sits with him and is like, hey, you're being dramatic. And I like that. I think you're right that the reason they work is because they are so different. They complement each other well. And like he can roll his eyes at her bullshit and she can fully call him on his and no one's mad. So like, I don't know. Jamie,
she was like the only one to do it.
Yeah.
She was the only one confident enough to be like, actually, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because everybody else would be too afraid to. So
I'm in complete agreement with both of you. I think that my thing is like Buffy and Angel are such a fun time because it's so dramatic and it's so high school.
Right.
But like they have to grow beyond that. And I'm a Buffy Spike girl. I love them. So like, why wouldn't I root for Angel to have someone else? And I think him and Cordelia make so much sense. They do, like, obviously, I find the people that really hate it are the people that only watch Buffy and know about it and they can't picture it because they're like, my old roommate had never watched Angel and she loves Buffy and she's like, I hate Wesley. I do this. I'm like, because you have to watch Angel.
Yes.
And then she did, and she understood why it all makes sense. That's part of it. But I'll tell you, years ago, this was maybe like 7-8 years ago, I had a freelance job for a site, and I did a like best and worst Buffy universe couples, and I called Angel and Cordelia a best, and they changed it. The website, they changed it, and I'm like, this is my opinion piece. You can't just change that, and I quit. I said, fuck you, I'm done. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not putting my name on something that says Cordelia and Angel were a bad couple because that's not how I feel.
That is wild that they changed that, Jamie.
That still happens to me in my current jobs.
Yeah.
Like, I had to decline a recent article because I was going to be ranking the MCU Phase 5, and I think Quantumania is the worst thing Marvel's ever made. And my manager was like, no, it's Secret Invasion. And I'm like, I have said these words so many times about Quantumania that like I can't put my name on this. Yeah. So I didn't quit, but I declined to do the
also
article.
That's like if it's your opinion. Clearly, if you're ranking them, that's your opinion. So like if you wanted to say Fantastic Four was the worst one ever, okay, that's your opinion. Like,
yeah,
just stupid. Watch when I said this is one of my favorite seasons of Angel, it's just going to be beeped. It's like worst.
It's me saying the word worst beeped over you saying
just going back to Angel being in this box and like we're constantly seeing this dream state. When I first saw the Angel and Cordelia on the beach segment, I was like, oh, is this Cordelia like divine intervention, like having a conversation with him?
Oh, I would like
she knows
that.
what's going on.
Yeah.
And like it obviously it isn't because, or it could be in a way, but like she can't really control everything that goes on in his brain. But it really shows like the almost like, oh, he's still a vampire and he has needs and he will kill someone that he loves based off of that, versus like we're seeing his soul like have this connection with this human being, and it's like his monster fighting that humanity. And I think the duality between him and Connor as well is that Connor's a monster and so is Angel, but Angel's fighting the monster and Connor's fighting the humanity in almost every scene that we see them in, especially after he has done this. And I think it's just like such a great theme to really nail down. It's like, oh no, he's still a vampire. We love him. We love him, but he's still a vampire, right? So
right. I think that's a really good comparison with Connor, because you're right. Like Connor is fighting the humanity. Even when he's like, no, I hate Angel, you can kind of see him like struggling with, like, it almost feels like he's like wants to hate him so much he wants to kill him, but like there's a little bit of like inner whatever there because he is human with special abilities.
Yeah.
Asterisk. So we get Wes and Lila post-sex. I am curious what you both think, because I will say, going into the season, I did like this scene more than I usually do. I normally don't like them together. They have chemistry, but normally I'm like, but I don't think these two characters make sense. But watching this scene this time, I was like, I kind of get it. I don't know. What do you guys, Jamie, what do you think?
I really love them because Wesley's my favorite character arc in television, and this is like his darkest, and his darkest is like falling into bed with someone who's like borderline evil. And I do think that they have chemistry, and I think that it because Lila is so cool and like put together and kind of glamorous in a way, it makes Wesley seem sexier. Like
You're
finding
right.
him sexy makes him sexier, and like this is like bearded Wesley is like so hot to me.
Yeah.
And
This
to
is his
think that
hottest,
like
I think.
yes, where we come from, like, but to imagine being back at Buffy season 3 and being like, one day I'm gonna be so attracted to this man is crazy. And it's part of that is because she sees him as attractive. I really like it because like it's not love, it's just sex, but they do like each other. There's something there. And it's again, it's like it's the same it's better chemistry, obviously, than Friend and Gun, but it is also like it's leading towards something else. They're with the wrong people.
Yeah.
And because they should be with each other.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Xana?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Wesley and Lila have much more organic chemistry, and it doesn't feel as forced. And maybe that is just the two actors being great together, because I think even Lila's character, I forget her actor's name.
Stephanie Romanoff.
Yes, she's incredible. Like even from episode 1, you're like, oh no, she's so good, especially even back on the first season, where it's like sometimes it's like the situation she was in, we're like, okay, cool, but she really pulled through every single time.
Yeah.
I think what makes it so tantalizing and why we are like, oh wait, no, this makes sense, is because they're both corrupted. And I think now Wesley, because he's gone through that such severe change in his character arc, the corruption makes sense for them to be together. And I think they both like that. She's like, oh, but he's the good guy, I shouldn't be doing this. And that almost makes her worse, because she's like, well, I'm evil. I'm being corrupted by good. And I think they're having such, like, it pulls them on either sides of the spectrum of where they are normally. And it almost humanizes Lila more than it ever has before. Like even the episode that Cordelia and Lila have to deal with Billy, where it's like,
I love that episode.
We're women, why are we fighting on this one side when we know this is the wrong thing? And it always comes down to being a man, obviously. But I think Dark Torture Wesley is the hottest thing, and I feel like I'm the problem here. Yeah.
I think it also goes back to, which a bad comparison between two people fucking and a father and a son, but like the Connor and Angel of it all, and the like Wes is coming at it from newly evil, and Lila's almost coming at, oh crap, I do maybe like this guy, like not in love, but she's like showing a like side that happens when she likes someone, right? And so I do think that's kind of interesting. And I do think, Jamie, you're right, that it is like Lila is so confident that like she's not gonna fuck a dope, right? Like if there's a man, like yeah, she wants to get laid like anyone, but like she's not just gonna fuck some like sap, right? Like he has to be like a certain level of like worthiness for her to want to fuck him. And I do think you're right that like we know that about her. She is so fucking confident. So it's like, well, yeah, he's not the Wesley we knew. And
which is funny because when she gets basically like made fun of at Wolfram and Hart, being like, you're fucking Wesley and I know about it and you should feel bad about it. She's like, hold the fuck on. I'm gonna kill this guy.
Yeah,
like
it's your head off.
Yeah.
And it's funny because so last year, one of my favorite interviews, my two favorite interviews I did last year were Julie Benz and Stephanie Romanoff. And Stephanie Romanoff, this is her, the like making like sex puns, and like she told me she was gonna top me with her water bottle. Like she's great. And this is like very her coming through. And I think, I don't know if that's like what made me like it more, but yeah, this is the first time I've liked it. I remember like last time I watched it, it did make me, I mean, we know she dies and that like bums me out because she's such a good, I think Lila is like one of the best Buffyverse like villains, but not capital V villains.
Yeah.
Like she's just looking out for herself. She doesn't care, right? If Wolfram and Hart was like, we'll promote you to senior partner if you become best friends with Angel. She'd be like, sure, I'll become best friends with Angel. She'd complain about it, but she'd do it. So like, it's not capital V villain, but it's still like, she's not a good person. And I think that's interesting. Like, she's, of all, like, I just wrote an article for Pop Heist about, Sam Rochelle said she wanted to bring dead characters back. And I feel like Lila Morgan is like maybe my number one, because we do get the, like, her contract extends beyond death. And I think Wolfram and Hart, that's a thing that I do want to see in the revival, because I think it would always bum me out we didn't see them on Buffy, because I think Angel was very hit or miss, but I think Wolfram and Hart was one of their biggest hits of like a cool new thing to introduce into this universe. And her as the face of it, that would be fun. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of similar to like how the Initiative, like the government always knew about supernatural beings, and we got to explore that in season 4 of Buffy, versus like Wolfram and Hart's been there since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the original things that have like created so many different divergence in everything that's gone on in the universe. So to be able to include that in Buffy, it'd be fun to see how she would also engage with that, especially considering how we had one conversation where it's like, oh, they don't, like the Buffy team doesn't trust Angel at all because they start working for Wolfram and Hart. They're like, no, you're evil. Like they don't trust them at all. So like, it's kind of interesting to see what that would look like, that corporate version of evil in the new one.
Yeah, I agree. Then we get to my least favorite character ever. She leaves. Wesley unlocks his closet and Justine is in there. I fucking hate that character so much. she's like nothing. Like even in this episode, I'm like, I don't even feel like this tracks with the Justine we met before, who's like, she's more cracking jokes and like, I don't know, like nudging Wes. But I think she sucks. But she's gone after this, so who cares? I don't love that plot, because for me that doesn't track for Wesley to keep someone like in a cage with a bucket.
I think they were just really trying to show off like Wesley's version of the Ripper.
Yeah.
Which it's not even, it's like so watered down that it's like even keeping a girl in a cage with a bucket. I'm like, that's not even close to what Rupert Giles was doing. I feel like Justine was so underutilized.
Yeah.
Like she could have been such a great, dark, tormented character, but we only got to see the awful parts of what that is for her. And it's just like, she could have had such a faith route as well that she just disappears as well. It's just like, oh, she doesn't come back. She doesn't even get to die. Yeah. Like that's one of the best things you get to do in a show is fucking die. And she doesn't even get that. And I'm like, okay, got it.
Her devotion to Holtz is is kind of annoying because like she didn't like, if you really take the timeline, it's been like what, a couple months since she met that man.
Yeah.
Like,
and she like, I think that, that's, and her setup is that she's this badass. Like when he's like looking into her, it's like, they give her a weird like Slayer type intro where she's like beating up vampires, has like a cool leather jacket on. But then she just like immediately bows to Holtz and it's like, why? Whatever. Doesn't matter. They're on a boat. She's like more of a plot device at this point because Wesley needs someone who was there that can help him find Angel. She goes to hit him with a wrench. She's like, well, take away your bucket. Sure. We go to Gunn, Fred, and Connor. They burst into that vampire's nest, attack her. They have a fight. She jumps out a window. Connor follows her. And what does he do to that vampire, Jamie?
Oh, kills her.
Yeah. And she was their informant.
That's so sus. Any movie where it's like where the Ward does this a lot in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He kills somebody that it was going to talk. And it's like, it's so obvious what you're doing. Come on.
Yeah, I feel like, and right, like every Scream, there's someone who's like, oh, they just got away. And that's actually Ghostface. Like, they see that he killed the vampire. They go back to the hotel. Oh, this is when she calls Lauren. I said that, but the like send Fluffy his love when she's like, Gunn's like, am I Fluffy? And she's like, is it me? That's inappropriate. Sure. And then we don't see Connor, but we cut to him on the roof and we think it's Connor, but Angel pops up. Jamie, you were about to say something.
Oh, I was going to say, I like that Fluffy pays off later.
Yes.
I like that we do learn what the fuck he's talking about.
Because I also like that it does track that Lauren might just throw out a random nickname for someone.
Yeah. It felt so natural for him to say something like that, and then they're all confused by what he's saying, which is just, it makes sense for a queer-coded character in such a deep-rooted kind of like, he's so other that they literally have no idea what he's saying when he's asking for help. It really tracks.
Yeah, I love Lorne. We get this counter dream of Angel once again is dreaming about killing someone he cares about. Then we go to Wolfram and Hart, and we're getting our West Wing walk and talk. Gavin, Lila, and Linwood. My God, can I never keep track of what old white man was the head of Wolfram and Hart for what season? Because I'm like, wait, what was this guy? And then it's like, oh right, he came in at the end of last season. Again, doesn't
But
matter.
they casted them so like, we just need a body double. It's like they used his stand-in and like, oh, you can act great. We'll just put you in there. I literally, if you line them up, I would not be able to tell you who was who.
The only reason I know to recognize the first one is because he was Bernard on Lost. That is the only reason.
Yeah.
Jamie.
Whoa, I never put that together. A lot
That's
of lost people working at Wolfram and Hart.
Yeah, a lot of lost people. And I was a big lost girly, so that's the only. And Bernard and Rose, when they were reunited, I wept. So I recognize. But anytime either of them pops up on the show, I'm like, oh, I love you. So he knows that she's sleeping with Wesley. Gavin has like got the psychics to say Angel's out of commission.
Nothing.
Yeah. And I do like Lila's like, oh, could they vague that up? And Xana, what you said earlier, like with Lila, it does always come down to like a man is getting more credit than her and she is better at the job. And I kind of like how much we like blow that up here, where it's like, yeah, this is constantly happening. So, and we'll just talk about the second Wolfram and Hart scene again right now, where they go into this meeting and what does she fucking do to Linwood, Xana?
It chops his fucking head off, as she should. And she does it. It's so creative.
Yeah.
And the lead up to it, the delivery of all of her lines in this scene, it's like she is so casual because we don't know the power play, because it's leading it to her basically getting fired and being like, you're useless. You can't be here. And she's like, oh yeah, I just talked to someone like a senior partner. Like, I know you probably all know who he is, but like whatever. He gives really good office furniture advice, which is just like out of left field. We're like, oh, okay, cool. Like, why would you? Like, oh, so you have no relationship with him. He's giving you office furniture advice, and then chops this guy's head off in like such the ode to Kill Bill, where it's like, if any of you have anything else to fucking say, now's the fucking time, in such a condensed version. Yeah, she gets her Lucy Liu moment, and I live. And like, rooting for Lila is obviously not on everyone's vision board outside of her just being a strong, confident woman. I'm just like, no, I in my brain, I'm like, I've always loved what she's doing, even though it's her evil. Yeah, it just under actually the delivery of her line, be like, yeah, and he's dead.
You're right. It's the delivery, because she's so, that's not what you're expecting to happen. And she's so, whatever, because she knows she's better than this guy.
And that's just a Tuesday. That is just a Tuesday for all of them. It's like, collect this guy's fucking head off the table. Get it out of my sight.
Someone clean up the blood.
I love Daniel Day in this, because he's like, when he sees the head, he's like, oh, fuck. I fucked up. I now have to like kiss her ass. I really like his role, and it's a shame that like, because he's so big now, he's one of the, like, he's so famous, and I wish they had given him a little more to do on Angel, because it'd be fun to revisit it more. Sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, he's up in here
because he's such a side character. Yeah. I often, the one big critique I would have of Wolfram and Hart is they didn't give us enough of an ensemble. Because it was like Lila and Lindsay leaves. We kind of get Gavin, but he's like, and like you said, Xana, they replaced the guy in charge with the same guy like it looks the same. I would have liked, especially leading up to the implosion of Wolfram and Hart this season, it would have been cool if we got to see a bunch of characters we knew dead as zombies.
If it was more like climactic, because like obviously Lila killing him is so like quick. And it feels like, oh, like and I think that really truly shows like what they're trying to say about corporate America. It's like everyone's replaceable, even people who think they have it all.
Right.
But when they killed the previous CEO of Wolfram and Hart, it felt so visceral and correct, because they, with even Darla and Drusilla like killing everybody in the wine cellar, it felt climactic, versus this was just so quick. And it like, if the end of this was all of that happening with the Beast and everything, I think it could have been a little bit more tangible for us. But I think it's just they're just showing such a quick. Everything's rolling for this company, even though I think it is such a perfect example of what corporate America is. Even if it's not just lawyers, it's like everybody can be replaced no matter what, no matter who it is. So it is what it is. I mean, them exploring Wolfram and Hart season 5, I was like, this actually could have been the continuation of like the next spinoff. If they had a Wolfram and Hart TV show that was just them exploring corporate demon America, that could have been really fun. But I don't think Netflix is picking that up anytime soon. So.
Yeah, I kind of Jamie, wasn't that kind of what it was billed as, like a rebrand of the show? I think when they did.
Yeah, I think that they were trying to do a thing. And what's one of my biggest pet peeves is when people are like, Angel ended on a cliffhanger because it was canceled. I'm like, no, they knew it was going to be canceled early enough that's how he wanted to end the show. And it's my favorite series finale of all time. But I do think that the plan initially was to keep that going for longer.
Yeah, and I do think Wolfram and Hart, like in season 3 last season, we met Flo from the insurance commercials, right? And she's like, they're like, she keeps track of everything, and that's a character that would be cool to see again.
That's actually insane that's Flo. I never put 2 and 2 together. I think I always recognized her deep down. I was like, oh, we know her. It's just you get to play with so many cool themes with like showing off everybody's experience. Everyone's worked, we'd hope, in some capacity in retail, anything corporate. So like it does really kind of play off that like, oh, this is the office but hell. And like we get to experience such a fun, interesting kind of dynamic. And I do agree. I wish those characters like Gavin did get a little bit more. Like he was just that annoying, pestering person that kind of moved the plot along, which was great, but it could have been better. So
then I have to tell you this: when we interviewed Stephanie Romanov, she didn't know that people loved Lila that much. She was like, "Wait, what?" And like she like got teared up during the interview because she was like, "Wait, you're saying like LGBTQ people love Lila too? I didn't know this." And I was like, what? How has no one told you this before? Like, Lila's a great character. And yeah, that's why
she probably wasn't on any social media at the time that really explained that. And obviously, like, Angel's always been, Buffy the Universe has been popular, but now with the cult following of it, like, even Sarah Michelle Gellar saying mother on podcast, because she just like, someone tweeted it at her. She's like, what the fuck does this mean? It's, we will always love an evil woman. Like, we were all rooting for Glory. I can all admit that. We all want her to win. I don't care. So it's just like, no matter what, we will always do that. I just feel like the only, like, strong female lead that we didn't root for was Maggie Walsh.
Yeah.
Fair. Good point.
We go back to the hotel. Connor is playing his Game Boy Color, which made me feel old seeing that in his hand.
Was that a product placement? Do you think they got money for that?
I don't think you see the label, so probably they had to cover up the fucking label. They probably weren't allowed to show it. Fred comes in, and I mean, Jamie, you mentioned this. I love Fred gets to be the one to do this, because also I imagine her being like, no, I'm going to do this. Like, I imagine her like telling Gunn she wants to be the one.
There was a fight. They argued about this 100%.
I feel like she didn't tell him because he would have stopped her.
Ooh, you might even be right. She might have just been like, bringing him food. And then like brought the taser. And I like that she gets, it's not just like a quick, it's like she says something like the hurt's nothing compared to what, he did to his father, blah, blah, blah. And like, I don't know. I like that he apologizes to her before she fucking tases him. Like, you see that he does like Fred when he's like, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And then she fucking tases him, which I love. Also, Amy Acker, I feel like I've said this to you, Jamie. We've said this. It's like Amy Acker when they're like, we need someone who is going to act the shit out of this scene and bring really intense drama. Let's give it to Amy Acker, because she is so good in the scene when Connor's tied up and she's like getting so fucking mad at him. I think she's like such a good actor.
Yeah, I agree. I think Fred proves once again that she's always going to be the smartest person in the room. And like, her development of this, like, we forget that she's this person who just got sucked into a hell dimension as well. Right. Like, she's not the only, everyone's getting sucked into hell dimensions. Right. It's like, they're buy one, get one at this point. But like, just like these cosmic babies that we keep seeing. This introduction to her being like oh no, there's something brewing deep down in there that will lead into her confrontations later this season. Her getting Connor with the taser was just so like, even the best innocent characters in this show are at some point not that innocent and will be really dark. And I think that's what Angel has always really nailed home for us. Where in like Buffy, it's like they're trying to see the good in these people who are not always seen that way, versus like all these characters on paper can be considered bad and they do good things, but they're not always doing it for the best reasons, especially with like her getting Connor in such a way where it's like she was bringing him the sandwich. I'm surprised the taser wasn't in the sandwich. Like she just like pulled it right out. So it's just like, it's kind of nice to see her so quickly go from like, oh, she's now this Cordelia figure. She's leading us into this like the strong female character, and being like, oh no, she's fucking ready to fight anybody.
I do think that your comparison is true, because I do think the one thing I will always say Angel did a little better is morally gray areas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the same thing with like the introduction of Lorne. Like I can't see where that would have, it makes sense, but I can't see where they would have done that on Buffy, because like the bar when they go, it's just
Clem.
like, true, yeah, Clem, but like, but prior to season 6, they never had like a demon that was just like a nice chill guy hanging out. Like it was always, there was like, even if they were nice, they were gonna kill you. And like Lorne has a bar where like the gang goes to do karaoke and stuff like that. I mean, not anymore, but I think Angel did the morally gray stuff better.
They tried like the whole like Buffy and Riley, that was like a big fight between them where where she's like, you know, there are different degrees. But you're right, we don't have a Lorne.
Yeah.
You got to see the morally grayness come out through Buffy over like multiple seasons, where it's like they even tried making her seem like she's a bad person when she went to Spike.
Right.
And like it was her, but it's her perspective. So we're seeing her struggle with it versus like us seeing Fred start out as like, oh wow, she's like a badass. She's like really coming for, and then going immediately into her dark side with like the flip of a switch. We're seeing it so much quicker in this series versus like, oh, it took Buffy 4 seasons to get there, versus now we're seeing Fred in an episode go from good to bad, and then she'll flip back to good when she gets her anger out. So it's definitely more polarizing here. But I think it just really develops her so fast, so quick to like, we already love this character, and now we're like, oh, she's even deeper than we thought.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's like giving her more. Wes has put Angel in a car. He's got him. Leaves Justine tied to a pier. Sure, bye Justine forever.
Which she could have died.
I was thinking like,
the amount of evil that is in this world, just randomly behind a trash can, that woman would have been fed on immediately.
There was a demon somewhere nearby. He gets there, he drops Angel off. I like I don't know. Jamie, I'm curious. You love the characters in the scene. I'm like, why is no one communicating? But I know that's like what shows love to do.
Yeah, they're all just so hurt and just swimming in their trauma. You know, it's really hard to talk to each other when you've been through so much drama.
I do like that they hear Connor. He quickly beats both of them up because he would, and that Angel is like, "Hey, I'm alive, and I'm gonna kick your ass."
Daddy's home.
Yeah,
he Clarabelle cows so hard in this scene. He's like, "Mm-hmm, you thought?"
He really did. And I like this scene. I think a thing that bothered me in season 3 was Angel was constantly like, "No, but Connor, I love you," and Connor's like killing people around them and like punching his dad, and Angel's like, "But let's hug," and Connor's like, "No." And here it's like Angel's like, "Did you fucking hurt Cordelia?" Like I like that. I don't know.
He takes literally every other character. He's like, you can kick everyone's ass, but you can't hurt her.
If Angel didn't have the ability to like tell that Connor's lying, I really do feel like how would you believe him? Like, right. I'd be like, fuck you, where's Cordelia? I would never have believed him. So like, I'm glad that they kind of gave you a reason.
Yeah.
To know he's
like,
not...
doesn't Gunn even explicitly say, oh, that's a really big coincidence? Because it really is.
This whole show was full of coincidences.
Yes.
It's
also-
crazy how all the apocalypses happen downtown LA near the hotel. Crazy.
And typically in like the May months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the summer. Oh, the summer was crazy, you guys. Let's get back to work. I love the line that Wesley gives just before he leaves, where it's like, he's talking about how he bled himself. But because he was like, obviously he's trying to hurt them, being like, well, I sacrificed again for this person, and y'all still can't see that. And I think the whole turmoil between the three of them specifically, it's like they lost Angel a couple seasons ago. They teamed up. Wesley got shot. It was like they developed so much as a group, the three of those people, and then the betrayal. I think it hits so much harder when all of this happened, considering they built all that trust, and where Wesley is like, he consistently doesn't tell people things. Which I think is one of his biggest faults, even going back to like season 3 of Buffy, where he's just like, oh, I'm going to take the Slayer. Who cares? Everybody's fine. Like, he's playing an angle no matter what. And I think like we get to see that more so here, that he was always kind of running his own show, even when he was taking orders from the council. He was like, I'm going to do what I think is morally best, even though I don't think he knows what good morals are at any point in time.
Yeah, you're right. Even when he was like a dope, he still kind of like did whatever he thought was best. And
it's always wrong somehow.
Yeah.
There's an arrogance there mixed with, the need to please daddy. And it goes back to the trauma,
See, if we were all loved as children, no one would steal other people's babies.
I do like Angel's line. He says, what is it? How was your summer? Mine was fun. Saw some fish, went mad with hunger, hallucinated a whole bunch. I appreciate when we do this Angel where he's like a little cracking a joke while being intimidating.
His 350-year-old dad jokes. Yeah.
He says daddy's not finished talking. And even when he mentions, what is it? It was only 3 months underwater. He's like, well, but I had a girlfriend who sent me to Hell Dimension for 100 years. Like, those are things that these shows do well, where they can like reference themselves and how ridiculous it is, but like be making a joke about it. I didn't remember exactly how we resolved this. So rewatching was almost like, I don't remember how this ends. So I do like that he's like, I love you, Connor. Now get out of my house. I was like, fuck yeah.
But that's such a, like, who hasn't experienced that with the parent figure? He literally did what Joyce did in season 2 of Buffy. She said, get the fuck out of my house.
Okay, but Buffy didn't try to kill Joyce, and he tried to kill his dad.
Fair, but it's like the similarities of this fucking show, where it's like they literally just did that. I mean, yeah, at this point it was 7 years ago, but it's like they've done this. Like, we know how well it turns out, and he doesn't even have to run away to LA. He's already there.
They're already there.
I think the difference though is that Joyce didn't actually want her to go, and Angel's like, this kid needs to go the fuck away for a minute.
Yeah.
Jamie, we discussed that a lot when we hit season 3 for the 25th anniversary, because I know that Joyce is beloved. I know that people love her. I get a little mad at that because Joyce doesn't take any ownership over the fact that she told her daughter, don't come back. And her daughter saved the world. And she's like, why did you leave? And it's like, motherfucker, you said leave.
Like when they have the party and everyone gangs up on Buffy, it's like, you cut the girl some fucking slack, man.
Right? Like,
the woman, Joyce's friend from that episode who dies with the mask.
Yeah,
I
Pat.
just watched it. I watched her in she's in the new paper show. She's in the paper.
Oh, really?
And I was like, Pat.
I love how much all of us Buffy girls, it's like someone who was one character in one episode for like 5 minutes, we will recognize that actor in something else 20 years later.
Yes.
Even if they bring the same character back to play a different character in another show twice. Yeah, I think just like this, obviously being someone who's been kicked out of their house by a parent figure, it is such a like, they're hitting the hammer so hard on something that most people wouldn't pick up. And it is like that hard choice, even between Joyce and Buffy and Angel and Connor, obviously different circumstances, but it all kind of that same allegory where it's like, this is a real decision that has been made in so many different households for so many different reasons, even if it's not a queer context, where it's like,
Right.
Maybe your child did a bunch of drugs and you kick them out of their house because you as a parent don't know how to handle that. Maybe your child is pregnant and you kick them out of the house because you don't know how to handle that kind of responsibility. It's like, obviously Angel's not a good dad. Joyce was clearly like a struggling mother, a single mom with
Right.
2 jobs trying to like take care of a supernatural child that she didn't even know about. So like
Reba
they're
who?
making the best choices possible, but it's like it always comes down to that, like none of these people know how to react, and they are
Yes.
making the best choice possible with the information that they have at the same time. Obviously, Connor's fine. He lived in a hell dimension. I don't think LA is worse.
Right.
So, like, kicking him out on the streets, just basically giving him a fucking hotel key, like, go away. So,
So what is it? They like, I do also like that Angel immediately falls over when Connor leaves. Like we knew that he was like puffing his chest, but he was in a coffin starving to death. So yeah. But he's like, I'm not gonna rest. I need Cordy now, wherever she is, whatever she's going through, we have to find her. And it's so goofy the cut we get right after that. It reminds me of there was like a sitcom that's So Raven, that when it would be like focusing on her eye and like zoom and she would like see, like that's what kind of reminded me of. But I think it's clever when it like goes to her and she's like, oh, I am so bored. Because also that tracks for Cordy.
yeah. It definitely brings around her, even if she's the supreme being, she's still that bitchy girl from Sunnydale. She's like, Jesus Christ, you guys, there's not even a summer sale. Like, I've been up here by myself. I hate this scene. I don't think the comedic timing is the problem. I hate that it's completely CGI.
Oh yeah, it looks
like she's literally a floating head when she could just been in a room. Like how we've discovered her when she was in Pyleria. That's right, right? That's
Pylea.
Yeah, Pylea, thank you. There's so many similar names. When she's sitting on the throne, like I kind of just wanted her to be in a physical space and just be by herself. I think this like they spent the budget. They're like, fuck, we need to make a floating head. Because it does feel very last minute how they insert it like that, but it is what it is.
I almost think it's her, but I think there's so much CGI that you mostly see her head, but I do think the body's there, just like kind of covered in like CGI, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think she's like still wearing that white.
Yeah, I think she's got like the white. Yeah. But then we end the episode. I have some trivia for this episode. This episode is set 3 months after the finale. Fred, Gunn, and Connor being the Angel Investigations team. It's the smallest it's been since season 1. The like stake Fred uses from her sleeve, we saw Angel use in the first episode. The Hunga Munga, which I literally only know that word because of Buffy, is one of the weapons Gunn, Fred, and Connor carry at the beginning of the episode, which first appeared in Anne. Wesley resorts to imprisoning and torturing Justine in order to escape an angel in Sanctuary. He says Faith's imprisoning and torture of him is evidence she was bad. And I feel like that parallel is absolutely on purpose. In Tomorrow, when Connor was closing Angel's coffin, Angel said to him, someday you'll learn the truth and you'll hate yourself. Don't, it's not your fault. In this episode, Angel tells Connor, what you did to me was unbelievable, now blaming him. This is the only season opener of Angel not written by Joss Whedon or David Greenwell. It's written by Daredevil writer Stephen DeKnight, who I randomly, Jamie, you might have known this, who I randomly looked up because I was like, this is the guy that wrote Daredevil, right? And I looked him up to make sure. He's from like 2 towns over from me in New Jersey. Weird. This is the first time Vincent Kartheiser appears in the credits, and Alexis Denisof is promoted to the and. Andy Hallett is credited as a special guest star in this episode, which he will retain as until he is put in the credits in season 5. Now we're at the end. Favorite scene, Jamie?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question that I'm thinking about the answer to. Favorite scene? I think it might be Angel and Cordelia, the dream between them, because it is a moment that we don't really get, and then like because Cordelia never really comes back. And so it's just like we don't get her really until her 1 episode in season 5. So yeah. It's like just that last bit of Cordelia.
Fair. Xana?
Fred, Taser, and Connor, for sure.
For me, it's that opening dinner scene. I just really like it. But also a close second is Angel confronting Connor, because I like that we're finally getting the interaction that they needed to have. Favorite outfit, I will go first. Cordelia's wearing a very cute zebra print top in the opening. It's like white and a little flowy, and like she has like cute necklace, and the hair, the way they style her blonde hair is, I think, the way it looks best. I don't love blonde hair, her with the short blonde Kate Gosselin bob, but they like flat iron it a little bit, and it's a little bit like, I don't know. I don't like when it's like round, but the way they do it, I like it in that episode, in that scene. Xana?
Wesley shirtless.
Fair.
Fair out fair.
Amazing.
Jamie?
Oh, it's got to be Lauren in that giant fluffy coat for sure.
What grade do we give this episode? I had a C plus. Y'all might have convinced me a B minus, I think. Because while it's not like action packed, it doesn't like do a lot of, it does what it needs to do of setting up the season and like moving the pieces to be in place for the season. So I think C plus B minus. Jamie?
That would have been my answer too. B minus, I think, for sure. Because we need room to grow down for this season. And it is like you wait a whole summer. What are they gonna do? Keep Angel underwater for 5 episodes?
Right.
Like you can't do that. You have to get him out of there. And that kind of thing sucks because like we didn't, see it, but like we waited 3 months. That's enough.
Yeah, I agree. Xana?
I'll give it a B plus. Only because, I think the resolution of him getting pulled out of the ocean between 2 episodes is whatever. But obviously, if you watched it in tandem with ending season 3, waiting the entire time to come to season 4 opening, you felt that time and be like, oh God, he's been under there the whole time. So I can understand that working, not with binging anymore, obviously. I think it is better, in my opinion, only because we see so much of these duo characters and what sets up it sets up our season for like what we're going to dealing with the big bad, but also we're getting this crazy dynamic of seeing some of these characters that don't get the limelight all the time. When you had Cordelia and Angel up at the front, you get to actually see these other characters and be like, oh, they're more well written than we thought they were, when we only get to see them for like 30 seconds in a scene where they make a off comment and then it goes back to the main people. So I'm like, if Angel and Cordelia had left the show at this point and we were just left with these characters, I think it would have obviously had a very different turn, but I think we get to see so much more of their dynamics and what makes them good and what makes Angel really nice. So I like it. I have a soft spot for season 4. So who cares if people hate it?
I love that. Thank you both for joining me. Thank you all for listening. If you like Slayerfest 98, you can find us on all social media platforms at SlayerFestX98. If you want to support us, we have a Patreon where we will be, at the same time we're covering Angel season 4 in the main podcast feed, we will be covering Buffy season 5 for its 25th anniversary over at Patreon, which makes me feel ancient. We're also going through X-Men the Animated Series and Batman the Animated Series. A recent X-Men episode was with Jamie and her man Tony. It was a lot of fun. And any and all support is much appreciated. If you want to follow me, I am at Ian X Carlos. Jamie, where can everyone find you?
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Tony, we have our own podcast, Love in the Time of Hydra, where we watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. At Lido Pod. I'm going to plug the fact that on September 27th, we have an LA Comic-Con panel at 3:30, and it is the start of our Season 3 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coverage. Nice. You can follow me. Yeah, it's going to be fun. At Jamie Jirak, Instagram, trying to use Threads now, but Letterboxd is where it's at. Follow me on Letterboxd.
I've been trying to I'm like, I should do Threads. I know.
It doesn't work. It's so bad.
Xana, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Xana's Revenge. If you are interested in Drag Race, I was on Canada's Drag Race season 5. You can stream that wherever you can stream that. I don't know what the Americans get, but whatever. And I'm also
did a Buffy look. Don't forget.
Yeah, truly, that's how people found me. And also how poorly I performed on that show. You can also see me later this year on Slaycation. It's coming out on New Year's Eve. So you can watch that wherever you watch your queer stuff. So, yeah.
Well, we will see you all next time. I'm looking forward to going through this season. And talk to you all later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.